We've all seen La Rosa de Guadalupe, or at least a lot of us have. A lot of episodes are hit or miss, like that one emo episode or the cosplay episode. But this particular episode, episode 938 from 2017, it makes me want to punch everyone involved in that one. Everyone involved in the writing, the direction, the editing, and whoever gave it the green light to be presented to the world. Because what the heck? That episode was vile. Hello everyone, it's me, Bunnie, and today we're reacting to La Rosa de Guadalupe, episode 938 from 2017. So recently I remembered that I had written this script a long time ago and thought I should get around to actually recording this. Because in this episode of La Rosa de Guadalupe, I want to rant about it because, ew! The premise is that an 11-year-old girl is pregnant and everyone thinks it's the older brother. First of all, how did the mother and the girl's brother not realize that Iris was pregnant? But this teacher, suspects that immediately after the girl ran off because she didn't want to eat ice cream anymore. After said teacher had touched her stomach and rubbed it, while telling her to watch what she's eating for her health. After she noticed her pronounced belly, which is what caused her to panic and run away. By the way, she isn't going to school anymore because her mother cannot afford her to go. And also, why is the teacher so comfortable touching her stomach in the first place like that? That's weird. Like, don't touch people without their consent. Okay, so then the teacher goes to confront the mother to tell her of her suspicions of Iris's pregnancy. Mother confronts daughter. Daughter comes clean. And mother belittles her, throwing in her face how she, the mother, has 3 jobs and is barely getting by, which says more about capitalism than anything else. So you'd think he would suggest, I don't know, going to a clinic if they are available there and it's legal, to pregify her daughter, her 11-year-old daughter. But even if she suggests that, the girl was almost about to pop, since the baby was almost here. Then she demands to know who the father is, but of course Iris refuses to tell, saying it won't matter. The mother assumes the worst, but the daughter tells her that didn't happen, but refuses to tell who the baby daddy is. She said that she can't tell her who it is. Then the mom tells the teacher that if she wants to help, like she claimed, to find out who the father is. One day, Iris is talking to her brother, and the brother gets really angry because they aren't financially well, and she comes around with this. A heated discussion ensues, and the teacher shows up. The brother leaves to his room, not before the teacher tells him that the 2 of them are too old for him to be exhibiting himself like that. He wasn't wearing a top, that was it. The teacher asks her who the father is. Iris then proceeds to look behind her to where her brother went to, and turns around and says, "No tiene caso, maestra. Ya no importa quién es el padre de mi hijo. Lo único que me preocupa ahora es qué voy a hacer con este bebé." The translation, for those who don't speak Spanish. "There's no point, teacher. Who the father of my baby is doesn't matter anymore. All I'm worried about is what am I gonna do with this baby." Now I know what you're probably thinking. The next scene, the police show up and arrest the brother for SA and getting her pregnant. Mind you, he's in the room when all of this is happening, the mother, the brother, and some random lady. He says he didn't do it. He gets taken away and the little sister is just staring, unfeeling, not a thought behind those eyes. In no moment did she say, "He was not the father of my baby, why are you trying to take him away?" No, he just lets his brother get taken away by the police. He gets thrown in junior jail and almost gets assaulted by delinquents there because they thought he was guilty and wanted him to feel the same pain they thought he put his little sister through. We don't know how long he was there. And then we see the mother once again asking who's the father because she refuses to accept it was her son, which, okay, no one wants to believe their child is capable of such evil, but to immediately not believe your daughter is a bit strange. Not that she was the one who accused him, but you get the point. He didn't say it wasn't him either, so that doesn't help. Finally, he spills the beans off screen, and the mother takes her to the police so she can give her statement. It was a boy from her school, her boyfriend. Why was she refusing to say that? I don't know. We never get told why either. But she really let her own brother go to junior Yale instead of saying the truth. The brother comes back. We don't see any scene where he's yelling at her for being a horrible person, for not saying who it really was, and letting the police take him away, and everything else he experienced. He was able to defend himself from it by punching all the guys after they pinned him down. But he still had to go through all that trauma, you know? So yeah, they just act like it didn't happen, like nothing ever happened. They're just normal now. He goes into labor. The baby is born. He doesn't want to hold the baby, and she and her boyfriend set up an adoption. The only responsible thing they did because a baby isn't a toy to be played with. But her mother was having none of it. She throws the couple out and the boyfriend. And then this woman who, let us remind you, was shaming her daughter for being pregnant because they're not financially stable, even though he has to go out of her way to get 3 jobs and that's still not enough. He shames her daughter for wanting to give away her new daughter, then begins to try guilt tripping her into keeping and holding the baby. He holds the baby, right? Edie's holds the baby after being pressured and does a 180-degree personality change after the winds of La Rosa de Guadalupe get her. Now she's all about the baby and is feeling terrible because she wanted to give the baby away, even though a literal second before she wasn't, because it was the best for her baby and for her. And she decides to keep the baby. The brother says that it will change all of them and says he'll get a job to support her and the baby. The sister that let him get sent to prison under false charges. Who made those charges? The teacher. He made assumptions, thanks to Edie's, and her refusal to tell anyone about the father. She said she'd never tell anyone, ever. The mom is like, nope, you're going back to school. He's like 15 or 16 and was looking for work at the beginning of the episode, by the way, but couldn't find anything because he's just a child and the mom calls him lazy. Like lady, it was mentioned. The mom says they'll find a way financially. She has 3 jobs and is barely able to get by, and she forces her daughter to keep a baby. Her 11-year-old daughter, almost 12-year-old daughter, because reasons, shames her for having gotten pregnant, shames her for trying to find and having found a family to get the baby to, take care of her properly. Her mom said that what she's doing is a locura. You know, something crazy. Like locura. She legit just turned 12 years old like 2 days after giving birth. The episode ends there, and then a widescreen of the girl who plays the pregnant 11-year-old, 12-year-old mother is talking about how parents need to talk to their kids about these things even if it's uncomfortable and a hard topic because of taboos. It's not a hard topic. It might feel embarrassing. If you're gonna have children, you're going to have to talk to them about it. And if you're gonna be uncomfortable about the possibility of having to talk to your children about the birds and the bees to the point where you don't tell them anything, why did you have them in the first place? You're just setting them up for failure. That girl didn't get the talk. She didn't trust her mother at all, and her brother, and I don't blame her. And it took a stranger, in this case the teacher, to figure it out after one odd behavior. I hated this episode so much. And also about the brother prison sentence scene. What kind of horrible human being must you be to let that happen? I get that she is literally 11 years old, but girl, is the boy from school more important than your own innocent, albeit a bit annoying, brother? A cosmic audacity. Now he has a record. The mother is ultra trash at the end. Why would you force an 11 to 12-year-old child to keep a baby? He did the responsible thing by finding better suited parents. But no, because, I don't know, you gave birth to them? You deal with it. That's apparently what this woman thinks. A family that is barely getting by. Who's gonna take care of that baby? The girl, you said, will be at school. The brother is also gonna be at school. And you have 3 jobs. So who will take care of the baby while everyone is out of the house? La Rosa de Guadalupe has a lot of hit or miss episodes, and this was an utter train wreck from start to finish. We start off the episode with a grown woman low-key body shaming a child, to mother forcing her 11-year-old daughter to keep a baby and not get them away in adoption, like she planned, because she gave birth to them. Also, she was being bullied in school for being poor by this odiosa. And the boyfriend supported her. Then they did the devil's tango because she was leaving school and she got pregnant. We never understand why she refused to reveal the information of the baby daddy either. When the father's family finds out, his father says they deserve to get beaten and wanted his son to be a deadbeat father and to abandon Edie's. Because esa es su bronca. Who wrote this episode? Who approved of it? Because they need to be fired for having los cojones to spread such nasty stuff. The sister letting her brother go to jail. And, like, yikes forever, what the heck? The worst part is, because of how some of the parts are filmed, if you haven't been told about the episode or seen it beforehand, you as the audience at some point will think it was the brother too. And that really ruffles my feathers. Anyways, that's the end of my little rant of this episode slash reaction of it. I hope you enjoyed the video. The link for the episode will be in the description below. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want to. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video, and I hope you have a lovely day or night. Bye bye! Till next time!